warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Ulfani. Okay, in this video I will explain to you about diglossia. What is diglossia and the function of diglossia? Charles Ferguson, 1959, diglossia is a relatively stable language situation in which in the addition of primary dialect of the language, there is a divergent highly codified superposite variety which is learned largely by formal education and is used for most written and formal spoken purpose. And according Fishman, 1980, diglossia is enduring societal arrangement and extending at least beyond a three-generation period such as two language. It has their secure phenomenologically legitimate and widely implemented functions. So, according to that, diglossia is a kind of situation where two variations of language happen at the same time. It's not a dialect. If a language is dialect, that language will not be called diglossia. Okay, and diglossia have two variations of diglossia. There are high variety and low variety. High variety is formal, like official or professional. Low variety is informal, like friendly, vulgar, or slang language. Next, about function of diglossia. There are standard and non-standard. Standard is like sermon, speech of parliament, university lecture, newspaper editorial, serious work in literature. And non-standard is like instruction, observance, conversation with friends, and conversation with children. Okay, next about formal and informal English. Formal English is used in serious texts on any situation. For example, in official documents, books, news report, articles, business letters, or official speeches. And informal English is used in everyday conversation and in personal letters. And in diglossia, there is prestige. Prestige speakers consider high as the more powerful to low in a number of respects. For example, high variety is more beautiful, logical, and expressive than low variety. Okay, next, there is acquisition. Low is usually used by adults while speaking to children, and children use it among each other. For example, the high variety is thought, whereas the low variety is learned. Like that. Next, about standardization. There are usually no comparable grammars, dictionaries, and standardized texts for the low variety, and any view of that variety is likely to be highly pejorative in nature. There is an established norm for pronunciation, grammar, and vocabulary which allow variation only within certain limits. Next, about the grammar. The grammar of the low variety is generally simple. For instance, fewer distinctions in the low variety are marked by the use of grammatical suffix. There are also major differences in the vocabulary of the two varieties. Next, about lexicon. Generally, most of the vocabulary between the high and the low varieties is shared, with some variation in form and with several differences in use and meaning. Okay, next about phonology. The sound system of high and low constitute a single phonological structure, of which the low variety phonology is the basic system, and the divergent features of the high phonology are either a subsystem or a parasystem. Okay, now I will explain to you about the example of high varieties and low varieties.
Okay, in this picture there are conversational history in National Memorial. We can know about the high variety and low variety, especially in Nayan speak. Okay, text guys in here is friendly language.
Okay, according to the explanation before, we can get the conclusion that diglossia is one of the important thing for us. In diglossia, no one speaks the high variety as a mother tongue, only the low variety. In the standard with dialect situation, Some speakers speak high variety as a mother tongue, while others speak low variety as a mother tongue, and acquire high as a second system. Okay, I think enough about diglossia's material. Finally, I say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.